Hey everybody. So yesterday I got the color component, common component built out, and started the wiring process for the 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 washing machine's going crazy. Um, Today is laundry day. Um, so, anyways, I got this component, and so I had to make some small changes to it. Um, One, I actually wired in when I pulled in my scene, the color picker into this scene. I actually give it, I feed it a color and I react to a color change, a color update event that I created in there. And let me take one step back. And I just hard coded the color to 10, 100, 100. So red is 10, the green is 100, and the blue is 100. So this is just sort of stubbing it out, or let me hit play. Um, this is just sort of setting up, just basically getting the common component working. And this is a bit of a departure from the previous ways of doing this because historically or previously I would like kind of set it up in the service first with the interfaces and work my way down. And this way I'm kind of starting at the common component and working my way up. Um, that process is just gonna. There's no right or wrong answer to how to do that, unfortunately. Uh, but So, anyways, I hard coded this color. This color will eventually it should be all black. It should be tied to the scene color, and that I'll do tomorrow. And then I added a color change function, which all it does is make sure that the color is 11. And here, let's maximize this. That the color is 11, and that and then it does a console log. So that's that. In here, I pass the color to the color picker, and I listen for color change events. And then over here in the TypeScript of the common component, um, added a bunch of different. Let me move this clock out of the way. Bunch of different decorators. Oh, I don't need that input anymore. I use so that capital input is the sort of the previous um, traditional way of doing inputs, and then this is sort of the signals way. This smaller um, function is the signals way. So that other one was a decorator. Output is still a decorator, so that's the traditional way. So we'll go down and see. So here, so with the new, let me go ahead and look at it this way. With the new input, with the signals based input, you can actually tell it that it's required, which is pretty nice. And then I put a little comment saying that it's going to come in as 3 digits that are numbers. Um, and then the output is an event emitter, and this is sort of the traditional way of doing things. Now let me go back um, to there. All right, so over here in the I default like a red string, which is going to be basically zero prefixed numbers that they're guaranteed to be 3 digits, and they're basically a number between 0 and 254, I believe, and or 255, yeah, 0 and 255. There's 256 of them, and there's a red version, a green version, a blue version, and then there's actual numeric values. So like a 1 would be 001, a 255 would just be 255 because it already has the 3 digits. Um, and then in this constructor, we do our effect. I'm just going to look at that in this way. We have an effect, and basically when I get this code gets ran whenever the color comes in. So this color, so anytime the color signal is published, this effect gets executed, this set of code gets executed. And the first thing it's going to do is split it into an array, and then um, it's going to take the first value of the array and add it to red, make it red value, and then it's going to create a zero prefixed 3 digit version this way. And then it does that for all three of these. And then, yeah, and so that's that. That's how that works. And then let me go back to this view. Let's see. All right, so what I'm going to do is go to the markup. Oh, well, so here's the get zero field. All this does is, let's go back to here. All this does is check to see how many digits it is and add zeros if necessary. And so it's just ability to reuse it. It's kind of nice to do it this way because that's very easy to unit test. I'm actually very curious how you unit test this stuff. And update color is something that gets called from the template. So we listen to, okay, so we're using the matte slider component, and it has an event called, actually, it updates this input, and this input has an event called change, and that change input is the update color. Is tied to our update color function, and it passes in which version is whether it's the red or the green or the blue. And then the input takes the red value. So whatever the value of the red that was set in the TypeScript is what this uses. That's why it has to be just a regular number. It can't really be a string. And then and that's about that. I don't know that I ever went over what this does, but basically this just sets the background based on whatever the green value from the color picker. So oh, okay, yeah, and then that is tied to the a template variable on here. So see how this one, this is named, and there's a variable that's created behind the scenes called red, and red has a value, and that ties these two together within this template. Technically, I probably could have made this red value from here, so it could be tied to this, and that probably would work. We could try it real quick. Change this to red value. Let's go ahead and make our thing more visible. Yeah, see, that works fine because that's what's updating this background. So we don't really need this template variable anymore. We could just use red value, keep it synced up that way, but for the moment I'm just going to leave it this way. Let's see. Yeah, that's about it. I don't know. I guess we should lower the complexity of this thing by getting rid of these. Well, okay, let's just see if we don't need these anymore. I don't think we need these anymore. I should do this in. And then make this green value. Kind of just leaving extra code for, that just moving parts tends to be what they call tech debt, but it does make it harder for people when you're doing maintenance to try to understand what's going on. Like a lot of times you just it's just easier, it works, so just leave it. But if for your personal understanding, it's very, very helpful to go ahead and get rid of anything that's like that. I don't know why that didn't throw an error, but let's see. Hopefully this works, or I'm going to have to redo this whole video. Let's see. Oh, it didn't work. It No. Yeah, no, it's working. Let's see. Let's get that to 0, that to 0, and that all the way up. Yeah, no, all seems to work. Let's make sure that yeah, my console logs are still happening. Yeah, so that is good news. So we lowered the complexity, we dropped the tech debt. That is the kind of thing that, like, if somebody went, like, let's say 6 months from now, like you were working in a large team, and 6 months from now you're like, man, I don't know if that, gosh darn it, um, if that is necessary anymore. And then you're just like, um, you know, I don't know. I'm afraid to change anything because it's going to be, there's no telling what it might break, and it's probably, it's just helpful because now we have, instead of three moving sets of variables, we already have a lot. Like if you look over here, we already have like our color, we have our red string, our green string, our blue string, our red value, green value, and blue value, and then having our red template variable, green template variable, blue template variable is just like a complexity we just don't need if it's not necessary. Yeah, so that was a good thing. I'm sure in the future I'll be glad I did it that way, and it wasn't that big of a deal. Anyways, happy coding. Bye.